What's up, folks, and welcome to Fairway Media's presentation of the 2021 Columbia Cup Crushing at the Camp out at beautiful Camp Taloali in Stayton, Oregon. This is Jesse Tomaino.
And Madison Tomaino, and we're excited to watch along with you guys out at Camp Taloali, one of my favorite courses.
Absolutely. There's the guys on the card, getting pumped, ready to go.
Should be a fun round.
Hole 1 is a really good indication of what you're going to have to do all day at Taloali. Throw dead straight to a very well protected green, in this case 330 feet down, through this gap, and tucked right in there.
You definitely want to stay on the fairway at Camp Taloali. It can get a little precarious. We'll see if these guys manage to do so. First up, James Moore out of Gladstone, Oregon. He's 1001 rated.
We're going Conrad, Chris. All right, prove me wrong.
Looks like he's going to try and just pump a mid-range, dead straight.
That leaves him a little short. He's probably 45, 50 away.
Yeah, just outside the circle. Here's Chris Nelson from Beaverton, Oregon, rated 1020. He probably released that a little bit late, got hung up on some early branches.
Right there by the short position.
Next up, Erik Hayworth from Salem, Oregon, 982 rated. We'll see what line he takes.
A little early.
Didn't flip up as much as he wanted to. He's also caught in some short shrubs. And last on the tee, Bryan Van Fleet, one of our good buddies from Salem, Oregon, 996 rated.
And Fleet's working it over a little bit. Got caught up, and he's going to be short of that gap as well.
It did look like it was going to flip up nicely, but he's definitely shorter than he'd like.
And this hole is brought to us by Jory's Fly Dyes. Check him out on Instagram. I know we've both got some of his work in our bags.
Yeah, he does some great custom stuff. We had him do, I think, a Mario disc for the little one, and it came out amazing.
Super cool.
Here's Chris with a long putt. First putt of the day. Let's see if he gives it a go.
Oh, he comes up hopping away from that.
That looked like it hurt.
Here's the replay. You'll see Chris,
he hits his knee on that rock.
Little knee bonk. Hopefully that he's able to shake that off here pretty quick.
Here's Erik. Long putt for birdie. Kind of needs to work its way around a tree. Gives it a good go, but can't quite connect. And here's Bryan. He actually has a pretty good gap right there.
Good little stab, but just never floats over there. See if James can take the early lead here. Oh.
Just a little low. He wanted that one. Here's Chris for his par. Great putt.
Yeah, yesterday wasn't. I didn't want to.
Erik cleaning up his par.
Looks like no blood on hole 1. Everybody gets the par and gets to move on to hole 2. Hole 2 is 370 feet, turnover shot through this gap that the drone's flying through. It's trying to find a line, and it's tight up there. The green is back through this secondary gap that you probably want to flex around to the right and then crash down past this very last tree in the center.
There's also a hyzer line off the tee. I wonder if we'll see anybody take that. To me, it looks a little bit obstructed, but looks like James opting for the forehand. He'll kind of take that gap we saw with the drone, but on a forehand line.
Little low.
Oh boy.
Jinx. Chris's knee looks like it's moving okay.
This has great height. See if it can filter down through that second tree gap that we saw.
Looking pretty good. Maybe a little long.
Really hard to get long of this pin. That is a very obstructed green. Very impressive to get that far.
Erik's gonna try and follow that line. Looking pretty good.
Needs to come back a little bit. Looks like he'll be right of the pin, but hopefully we'll have a putt.
Putt from the fern somewhere.
And then Bryan taking the hyzer gap that I had mentioned before. You really have to crash through a lot of stuff, but you can get there. Leaves it a bit short. He should just have an easy pitch up for par, but we'll see.
James has got some work left to do here. And leaves it a little short.
Here's where Bryan ended up. He'll try and just work something high down there, crash into the basket. Now this is James for par.
Good effort.
Not the start he was looking for, I'm sure. But this is definitely a bogeyable hole at 370.
Yeah, these are the first two holes are two of the tougher birdies to get out here. They both still average under par, but just barely.
Chris had a nice birdie run, left it a little short. Here's Erik, also leaves it a little bit short. Bryan taps in his par.
These guys will move on to hole 3 here, looking for the first birdie of the card still.
This hole is sponsored by Cool Discs. He's a local out of Salem. Sells a lot of inventory in person and online.
Running a lot of events this year as well. So hole 3 is one these guys are definitely going to want to get. It is 265 feet. Make it through this gap on a little hyzer or a little mid-range overstable flex. Beat this very last tree and not much left in your way.
Here's Chris up first. Looks like he's throwing a mid-range. He hits the gap.
A little long, but still putting.
Here's Erik. Taking a bit of a higher line.
Looked inside, but makes its way up to the edge of the rough there.
Bryan, a nice hyzer shot.
Little inside and short as well, though.
Yeah, didn't get any skip.
James is inside as well. That's making it through a bunch.
That got real lucky and got a great skip. He's under the basket.
Good result, James.
Here's Bryan trying to figure out some sort of tricky...
Oh, tomahawk pancake shot or something. Oh yeah. Good scramble.
Here's Erik for his birdie, who's probably just outside the circle. Gives it a good go. Chris, who has gone long, coming back for his birdie. And he's missed low now 3 times, but I bet he'll make the adjustment.
Yeah,
he's a great putter.
For sure. Oh, Erik just floats it into the band. That's going to be a 4 on a hole he doesn't want to see a 4 on.
Bryan for his par.
James finally gets to putt here. See if he can make good on his 2.
All right, we got a birdie, 2 pars, and a bogey.
They're gonna put that set on pretty soon, I'm telling you.
Alright, hole 4. The drone is actually flying from the short pad. We played from the long pad, which is, I don't know, 75 or 80 feet farther away. Tucked back into the right edge, so you're throwing a turnover or a forehand off the tee. You just want to make it down, set yourself up for an easy approach, stay somewhere in the middle. And some of these guys might be thinking that at 570 they can get all the way down there for an eagle putt. We'll see.
Here's James with a forehand. Usually you see a turnover shot. If you can land anywhere by this path in the short grass, you're lined up for a good approach shot. That was a good shot. Here's Chris going for the turnover line.
Put a good move on that. That is flying past that one tree in the middle of the fairway. And if you're past that, you've made some good distance. He's going to be on the right edge, though, with some stuff in his way.
Bryan puts a nice one out there. Looks like it's going
Ah,
right into the one tree. But if he stayed in the middle, he should be able to try and scramble still for a birdie. Here's Erik. Just needs to flip a bit more.
looks like he's going to tail off a little farther left than he wanted. But he's got a place to stand, and there's some lines from there. Bryan going patent pending from right behind 3's long position.
Having to do a standstill shot, it looks like.
Patent pending, my favorite. Let's go.
Psyching himself up. Patent pending roller. Alright.
Bad kick.
He's still going to have some trees between him and the basket.
And here's James going forehand again.
That's a little, leaking a little wide.
Yep, pin high left and a little bit of bush. Chris also had to throw a standstill approach. This got up there though.
Oh,
That
yeah.
was fantastic.
He'll have 20-25 left with one little tree in his way.
Erik throwing an Annie forehand.
Oh, great shot.
Amazing.
Bryan's finding that one tree that you get to putt from a knee from behind.
James, I think he wanted to give that a go, but got caught on a branch or something. Here's Chris for birdie.
Stretching out. Oh no.
That was like a great putt. Just came out. Hit a lot of chains. Here's Bryan for his par.
And he's from a knee with stuff in his way, but he's only 15 feet away. There you go.
Thank goodness. Good putt. You almost screwed yourself, Bryan. Thank you, bud. Oh, helps me a lot.
Erik taps in his birdie. Great recovery from that.
Absolutely. Amazing Annie forehand approach. Chris and James a little dejectedly dropping in their pars.
Yeah, this is one I think most of the MPO field wants to get.
Absolutely. Well, they've got another chance to get a par 4 here. This is 525. Got to make it through this gap. The tree on the right of the gap that has a ribbon around it is a Mando. Got to be left of that, and then left of the next big tree out in the field. Once you get out here, anywhere in the open is going to give you a look at the green, but at 525, these guys are going to try and pump one up there and give themselves a putt for the 2.
Mm-hmm. The yellow rope that you see is not playing out of bounds for this tournament. It does for some, but not for this one. However, there are the 2 Mando trees that we'll see.
Yeah, if you hit those trees and go off into that brush to the right, you've been punished enough. No need for an OB stroke on top of that.
This is a great drive.
Oh, man.
Kind of trickles left by the bathroom. It can be a little bit obstructed if you're directly behind the bathroom, but we'll see.
James just squares up that center tree, but he did not miss the Mando yet.
I don't think you missed it yet.
Guys on the card confirming that.
Here's Chris throwing a pretty turnover. He probably wanted that to flip a little bit more. It's over by there's an alternate pin position over there. But it should be nice and open for his approach. That's a fine miss, in my opinion.
That's where I'm generally trying to get off the tee on this one. Brian's a little inside there.
Yeah, he took the skinniest gap possible. Somehow gets through all of these bushes.
And he's right at the base of the hill for that short pin position you were talking about.
Now let's see. So James has to wrap around the Mando.
James didn't miss the Mando yet, so
Okay,
he's got to throw there around to the left of that tree. And that's looking pretty good.
Uh-huh. Great. A little bit of a rollout, but out in the open. Probably a 60-footer.
Yeah, maybe even less. Pretty close up from where he was.
Chris, wide open. Nice natural hyzer shot. Puts one up by the basket.
Oh, big skip. He's going to be edge of the circle. Brian's a little wide as well. May work your way over there. Oh, yeah.
This hole is sponsored by Hops and Hyzers.
Love those guys.
Yep. Beer and disc golf.
Love those things.
Erik gives it a good Annie go. That was an interesting angle. Here's James for his birdie.
Boom. Oh, no.
That was all the way in, hits the center pole and comes out.
These Mach 5s at Taloali don't catch every good putt, but the good news is hopefully we're getting an upgrade out there pretty soon.
That'd be great.
There you go, Chris.
Great birdie. Takes him to 1 down on the round.
They're a little off. They don't like them.
I had a ring out.
Bryan with another great birdie, making this hole look easy. Erik with a birdie.
James nearly had it after getting caught up at the first gap, but he'll tap in his par. Hole 6, we are playing to a brand new pin position that Steve Moore just put in recently. Course caretaker. Drone's trying to figure out which route it wants to take, and it ends up taking the forehand or turnover route. Either way, this green is pretty well protected, and it is hard to get the last 40 or 50 feet. You've got to come in at just the right angle and miss just the right tree to get yourself parked.
I feel like you almost have to throw this hole too long and then just hope that it crashes left if you're going to take this gap to the right with a hyzer shot. Here's Erik. Looks like a nice angle on the disc. We'll see if he can crash through.
No, not quite. Chris looks like he's lining up the same line. Got a little
windy,
wind.
yeah. Good angle.
Sounds like that stayed in the brush line a bit as well.
Bryan gets through. He'll have a putt. The basket here is also kind of in a little bowl, so you can give things a good run and not worry about going too far past.
James going thumber. Leaves himself probably 50 feet short, but again, you can run this one from long distance.
And that arrow that you see is not anything affiliated with the course. It's just showing where the next tee pad is.
Yeah.
No Mando or anything.
Didn't like it.
Good go. He stays close. Here's Chris for his birdie. Tries to float it in there. It hits the hill. He should have stayed pretty close for his par as well. This is a great look for Bryan. I feel like he's maybe at the circle, a little inside. We'll
Yep.
see.
Oh, just sails it a little right. Cleans it up though.
Airball? Really?
Makes his par. Erik's trying to find a place to stand. This, like I said, is a brand new pin position, so outside of the circle, the green isn't as cleaned as it will be in a little while. Get some feet beating it down.
Erik and Chris with their pars. James with his par. It's always fun to play new position.
We are on to hole 7. For these guys, this is just a stock hyzer. Put it out to the right. Avoid those trees on the left. Swing it in and take a skip off that path to park it. I'd imagine most of them are going to be going fairway driver or maybe overstable distance driver. Definitely one they want a good look at.
Erik up first.
Little inside. But he should get down there and have some sort of putt. Oh yeah.
The right of this fairway used to be a lot gnarlier than it is now. If you've been playing this course for a while, you still have a little PTSD from throwing over there.
Yeah, just tons of Scotch broom that would swallow your disc up. There's Bryan. Great shot.
Yep, Chris and Bryan both parking the hole. Great drive.
Ace run?
James is looking good as well.
Maybe gets hung up in some of the longer grass. Here's Erik for his birdie run.
Off the top. This hole is brought to us by Chris Beltran. Thanks, Chris.
Oh, off the top. How often do you see that twice? Erik with a bit of a tester comebacker.
There you go, Erik.
Great putt. This is Bryan for birdie.
All right, let's go, Fleet.
Come on, let's get that. Dude, that didn't feel good.
He didn't like the putt, but it's in there.
James taps in his par. Chris with an absolute park job. Trying to hang from the chains, gives him a minute.
Little fist pump. He's stoked now. And we are on to hole 8. This is another brand new pin position, maybe just in the last month and a half before the tournament. Go straight for about 280 feet and then pick your line to wind your way through these last couple of trees. Basket's almost 400 feet down there. And this hole is brought to us by David Jackson, former course steward and Taloali local.
This might be too straight, although it got a little kick at the end. We'll see where he ended up. You'll see there's a tree right there that has been cut down, and it opens up this backhand line quite a bit, in my opinion. You can really hug the left side more than you could when there was that giant tree right there. Everyone's kind of going right over it.
Both Erik and Bryan got kicks back towards the short pin position. See if James can avoid that.
Okay, so everybody did.
This is looking quite nice.
Oh yeah.
395. Great pump. Gets through lots of stuff. Erik gonna have some work to do.
Yeah, anywhere you come up short on this hole, you're gonna have a funky line in.
Mm-hmm. I would agree. That's a great shot. Bryan also has to stretch out, do some stretched out forehand.
Get that disc golf yoga going. Oh, perfect. Chris got a pretty good look. Ah, low again. And James from about 25.
Great birdie.
Absolutely.
That is going to be one of few.
Not a whole lot of birdies on that hole. It is averaging over par. I think there were just 3 or 4 for the round on that one.
Erik with a bit of comebacker. Ugh,
Oh, Erik.
doinks it. That's not a bogey he wanted.
Nah, he did all the work to get up there.
Mm-hmm.
He'll get going here. Hole 9, we are playing to the middle position, and it is a super fun little low ceiling turnover shot. Make it through that gap with the leaning tree. Make your way down the fairway, drift in a little right, and avoid that retaining wall way over there.
It's a much smaller gap than it looks on camera. You don't really have an option to go high. And that diagonal tree is all sorts of in the way. This is a great shot.
Oh yeah, a little bounce off the wall. Chris is looking good. A little turned over. He'll be right next to that retaining wall protecting 10's tee pad.
Mm-hmm. Which I think is outside the circle, maybe at 40, 45.
Maybe a little closer to the edge of the circle. Bryan piped that one.
This is a great shot. Right past the basket.
Erik taking the forehand route. Flip one up and keep it off those trees to the left. Or find a way through them.
A little bit short.
All right, Erik's up first.
He's not happy that he left that one low. Here's Chris for his birdie.
There you go.
Ah, boy, Chris.
Splash Nation.
James makes his birdie as well.
These guys are starting to get to the pace they want to set out here at Taloali for the top of the MPO field. This is pretty close to birdie or die. You want to get as many of these as you can. There you go, Bryan.
All right, and we've got a pretty tight race going into the back 9.
Absolutely. Well, thanks everyone for joining us for the front 9 of round 1 of Columbia Cup's Crushing at the Camp, sponsored by Westside Discs. Thank you to Fairway Media, and we will see you guys for the back 9.
Yep, see you then.